Hi everyone, my name is Amy Lombardo and I am one of the co-founders of Karma Crew along with my dear friend Scott Feinberg, and the two of us created Karma Crew in 2006. As yoga teachers, we wanted to create an opportunity for the yoga world to mobilize a little bit more collectively around the idea of karma yoga. Karma yoga, if that is something that's new to you, is often translated to mean the yoga of action. You can also understand that as what happens after you leave the mat. We stretch our bodies out, we feel very good, perhaps we feel balanced, released from stress. Maybe that might be the only time during the day we feel that, but how can you translate the insights and the wisdom revealed to you on the mat into real actual life circumstances? And that's why our phrase in our logo, if you're familiar with our logo, the phrase is turning inward, reaching outward. We really see our organization as a gateway, a guide to help people in that process of translating self-reflection wisdom into purposeful action into the world. And I'm creating this video specifically for the workshop that we will be leading in New York City, October 9th through October 11th this fall at a wonderful East Harlem studio called Gaga for Yoga. And we are creating a workshop that will help individuals, regardless if they are long-term practicing yogis or they are fresh to the mat, never done a class before. This is a workshop that is entirely relevant right now. All we have to do is turn on the television set or look on the internet to see this time of chaos that we're living in, where old paradigms and old patterns are falling away, but at the same time it's almost like new patterns aren't quite in place yet, and that can feel very stressful, not just only in our individual lives, but on a global scale as well. So what does this mean for us? What does this mean for this workshop? Well, what we're trying to do with this workshop of the Yoga of Action over the course of a weekend is to help people find real tangible ways to use the practices of yoga to not only make them feel good for the hour or the hour and a half that they're in the class, but how do they use those practices to inform their actions, how they speak, how they act, how they interrelate with other people in their community, how do they sustain their own level of self-nourishment so that they can go out in the world and do things that hold meaning for them, whatever that might be. So this workshop does this in a variety of ways. We start the weekend on Friday night, where the group will join together at the studio, and we will look very carefully at sort of taking an inventory of where we are. Are we burnt out? Are we doing too much? Are we failing on our time management front, which I certainly know a lot of New Yorkers, we tend to overdo it on stuffing activities in our day. So that Friday night during the workshop, we're going to really closely look at the first part of that phrase I was saying before, the turning inward. How does one do that successfully so that not only when you go to yoga class again for that hour and a half you feel good, but how do you use that information so that when you leave, it's still with you? That night we'll focus a lot on self-care. We will do some physical yoga. We will also do some talking, some engaging, perhaps some experiential work, journaling, different types of activities like journaling might come into play to allow us to access some of that inner wisdom that each of us has. After setting that tone, on Saturday we meet again at the studio to reconnect, re-plug in fresh in the morning. Hopefully a little bit of the week's work has worn off by then and we're a little bit more present, a little bit more aware. As we join together as a group and practice again physically so we can get that in the habit of making yoga more translatable when you leave the mat, then together as a group we'll actually test our abilities of how to translate this wisdom by doing a service project in the community. And I'm so excited about this service project. It's with the Little Sisters of Assumption Family Service Center, also known as LSA. LSA does a whole bunch of things for the community, specifically for a lot of lower income families who wouldn't otherwise have access to a place to go, kids going there after school to do many different kinds of enrichment programs, keeping them off the streets and in healthy places instead of getting into trouble. we have the great fortune as a group of doing a project with a group of girls from the LSA. The girls will range in age from 12 to 14 years old, and we're going to get to practice yoga with them, and then together alongside these children, we're going to engage in a community service project for the larger East Harlem area. And I'll leave that part as a surprise what that is. After we engage in that service project and hang out with the girls and get to practice yoga with them, we come back to the studio to once again really take in, embody the practices that we're trying to learn. How do we make yoga sustainable? How do we make self-care sustainable? How do we not burn out? How do we have a sense of meaning in our life so we don't feel like we're just constantly in the daily grind, but we're actually able to live our values and our principles no matter what level of stress our life might be presenting to us. So after that pretty packed but incredibly nourishing day of Saturday, we have Saturday night to sort of let it percolate in the body and really take in the fullness of that experience. Coming back one more time on Sunday for 3 hours to recap, to physically practice yoga again, get our bodies and our minds in alignment with the use of our breath. But in addition to that, we take Sunday to also look at how you can take what you learned that weekend with you so that when you leave the mat, it's almost as if you're going to have a personal plan for yourself about how to incorporate better balance in your life that really allows you to tap in more regularly for that self-reflection, but also then learn how to extend that out to the world so it again informs how you act and you speak in your surroundings. So I hope that helps a little bit in terms of explaining what the details of the workshop are. I could go on and on. It's something I feel very passionate about, but I'll just end with one little story. These principles that you'll be learning in this workshop are the whole reason our organization is able to exist today. We apply these principles that we've learned to this workshop. We apply them to this workshop. Our organization was created just out of being present to the moment. We had led a retreat in post-Katrina New Orleans, and it was meant to be just a one-time thing. But we found this mixture of community service, yoga, group sharing, allowing people to really talk to each other, really connect with each other, was so transformative and so potent, we couldn't let it just be one retreat. We had to let it grow into something larger. And 3 years later, Karma Crew is still here. We now have chapters in over 30 cities nationwide. We've raised over $150,000 to bring yoga-based empowerment programs to abused children living in shelters. We lead workshops and retreats all over the country and in foreign countries as well. And we firmly believe that attending a workshop like this, regardless if you are a longtime yogi or you are the first time rolling out your mat today, you can attend this workshop and walk away with real, valuable information about how to live in today's crazy, chaotic world that we live in a way that's balanced, sustaining, not just for you, but for your community at large. So I do hope you will take time to really consider being here. This is an excellent workshop for caregivers, for moms. It's great for dads as well. It's great for people who are aspiring to be a yoga teacher or are already a yoga teacher and want to get more hours for their training. These hours can count for additional training. This is a great workshop for people who are trying to find ways to connect more meaningfully to their community. And I'm happy to also talk with anyone who would like to get more information on this workshop, as I know Maxie from Gaga for Yoga is as well. And I just want to extend my thanks to you for taking time to listen to this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I am really looking forward to seeing you in October for this great experience. Namaste.